Welcome to Club Damingo, brought to you by Cyclone Comics.
There we go, and there he is.
Hello,
The resurrected
Gary.
traveller.
Yes, and there you are too.
Yeah,
How's it going?
I'm very well rested.
I think I had like 9 hours last night. I'm fine now.
Right, okay. Yeah, why are you so weary, Tim? Why? What have you done on the
Because
weekend?
we went to Papercuts Comic Festival in Adelaide. So we travelled from Sydney to Adelaide, and we flew. And boy, are my arms tired.
Stop it,
And
stop it.
I was a little bit envious of a few of the people who did like road trips. Claire Murphy and her partner Ed. Um, Claire was one of the speakers on the Conversations Day on the textiles panel, where material like cloth material is part of the comic making process. I've been hoping to meet Claire because I love her comics, and I love the crazy things that she's doing with printing on fabric at the moment. But yeah, watching her stories as they did a really cool road trip over a few days, it looked like from Melbourne. Yeah, pretty sure it's Melbourne to Adelaide, and yeah, so a little bit jealous. Next time, Emery and I were both saying next time we should just block out maybe a week or so either side and road trip it there.
Yeah, now
It'd be
you
cool.
flew in on the Thursday, was that right? Or earlier?
Late Wednesday night,
Right.
so Wednesday was written off. But yeah, on Thursday we did a tour, and I've been to Adelaide lots, but normally with a comic convention where I was working, and we would fly in at the last moment and fly out straight away, usually on the Sunday night. So I've not really ever seen much of Adelaide. So
It's a
we did
great
a
town, isn't it?
tour. Hey,
It's a great town, isn't it? I really enjoyed myself there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It's a really nice little city, and a bit like Melbourne. It's well laid out. It's gridded, and there's like a very specific rectangle, which is the city, and then the northern suburbs, and then the modern urban sprawl around that. And we learned a little bit about why it is where it is. It's not on the coast, and it's not in the hills. It's right in the middle, so that they could benefit from both of those things equally. And so yeah, we did a bus tour around the city, which was really cool. Very smart city, lots of research, and the unis there are incredible. And then we went to Harndorf, which is a German town, one of many.
Mhm.
But it's kind of the famous one. Uh, and after that, we did a couple of wine tastings, came back via the coast. So drove along the coast and stopped at Glenelg for a short time, but I've been to Glenelg before. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful town, great buildings, architecture is really cool. They seem to be in that period of uh, where they could be knocking things down, but they're not. So it's
Right.
great.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
building inside of things and on
yeah,
top of things, and
yeah.
so yeah,
Nice.
good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, more than one person raved about their premiere. For our American watchers and listeners, I don't know how many there are, but our premier is like is it like the governor, the state governor?
Yeah.
It's
So,
the
so.
person in charge of the state at that state level,
Yeah.
and how great they think their premier is, which is really good. It's like even though I'm, in New South Wales, it's so great to hear somebody say that their highmost politician is doing a great job. Thank
Yeah.
goodness for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay.
Not
So
that I
that
don't know
was
more about it than that.
Thursday taken care of.
Yeah, and then Friday we took it a little bit easier, and I didn't get to Gamma Ray Comics, and I'm sorry, Gamma Ray. We ran out of time, but I visited Adelaide Comic Centre, and we visited Green Light Comics and Zombie. Is that what it's called? Zombie Collectibles are just directly opposite Adelaide Comic Centre. I had a cup of tea with Brendan Boyd that morning. He bought us some tea, and what else did we do that day? We just kind of took it easy that day,
Mm.
and then it ended with Talking Pictures, which is the live reading
Anima.
event that they do.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
no, no, no,
that was
that
that
was the
Saturday
next
night.
night.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So how did
No,
that event
Friday
go
night
on the
was the
Friday
live
night?
reading.
How did the
It was
live
really
reading go?
cool. Yeah. The live readings are always great. They take place irregularly in most of at least the the southeastern cities. I think I don't know if Brisbane and Perth do them, but if there's ever one on, you should go. They're so good. So yeah, this was great. And was it 8 readings that was done, something like that were done, and all really interesting and different and diverse, and stuff that was about science. And stuff that was extremely heartfelt and melted hearts across the room, and stuff that with a bit of a political bent. I probably won't name names because I'll forget who everybody was, but
Yeah.
they're all different, and the fact that it's actually being spoken in the voice of the creator, is an interesting extra level to just reading it, because most of the time the words are on the. You're right there, Gary.
I don't know whether it's the monitor or my glasses.
Have you run into a flock of a swarm of bees or something, and you got it all over you?
Don't worry. Okay. Yeah. No, I think we got it. So, continue on.
Yeah. So they were great. They're always great, those readings. And listen, I probably will talk about this a little bit more later in the day, but let's just quickly change the subject, because there is something happening in Melbourne soon. What's it called? And they're going to have live readings, or maybe that was already this weekend. They're doing stuff over a couple of weekends, and I think there was some overlap. I'm just checking my other notes.
Is that the one with Bernard Callio?
Do you know what that one's called? Off the page.
Off the page. I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it started on over the weekend, and there's a exhibition or something that extends for a little while.
Yeah. Do you know if the readings have already been done?
No, I don't. No. That means research and homework.
The one thing I didn't get ready before. I think I've got everything else ready that I want to talk about. Let me just quickly see. Workshop speaking. They're calling it Speaking to Pictures, and that's on the 17th. That's tonight. So I don't think that's going to
tomorrow night.
Sorry, tomorrow night. Yeah.
So we're on the Tuesday, the 16th at the moment. So that's Wednesday.
Yes, and you won't get this online, kiddies, until the Thursday.
So it was yesterday. I wonder how it went.
That's right. Something like that. And that includes the exhibition opening as well.
And the lotto numbers were
let's talk about that
17, 24.
Exactly. So let's talk about that later, not now.
Okay.
So yes, the Talking Pictures was really great. And one of the things about Talking Pictures was, because we got there reasonably early or on time or whatever, and took our seats. It was a bit like the times that we ran the cars as well, the Ledgers, when it was called the Ledgers. But it felt a bit like the Oscars, and you were sitting there and watching all these people walking. You're going, oh, there's such and such, and there's so and so, and then that guy, I can't remember their name, but they made that amazing comic. And watching all these people walk in, and just like at the Oscars or whatever, they're kind of just
lovely.
They're in the element. They're just So it was really cool, and the entire place, spotted around with cartoonists and comic makers. I'm sure there were heaps more than I even recognized, obviously, because I don't know what they all look like. And then all the friends and supporters as well. It was sold out. So it was a pretty large lecture theatre at the uni, and nice. Sold out. And it was free. When I say sold out, it was like everybody, all the tickets were gone. So all very cool. Seats. Yep. Very, very good and loud. So yeah. But we got stuff that was work in progress. We got stuff that was a snippet of a longer thing. We got stuff that were self-contained. So the night was great. In Sydney, we do it. Not me. I don't do it. So the royal we of old Sydney town. It's on every month or so in Sydney, and they call it Read to Me. So look up that Read to Me Sydney. It's usually at the Knox Street Bar. And yeah, like I said, by the time this goes to air yesterday, there will have been one in Melbourne. So,
and what about that thing that happened? How embarrassing was that? Oh, that happened yesterday. How embarrassing. I don't know how that person can show themselves in public.
Yeah, right.
And then that fight that happened, the fight in that side alley.
The fisticuffs.
Yeah.
So that was Friday night.
Friday night, okay, yeah. So Saturday was the Papercuts proper, as far as different panels and speeches and talks.
Yeah, there was was it five or six conversations, comic creators in conversation, panels of mostly three people, I think. Panels of three people and a
moderator,
somebody who was hosting it, moderator, on lots of different things. So I saw almost all of them. I missed one, had to get some lunch. It was a really nice thing too. Like, those things are always interesting, especially if you're kind of new to comics and want to know things that are outside of what you already know, because a lot of us are kind of a bit blinkered sometimes in what we might know about comics and what's capable of comics. Like I said, they did a whole panel, just on textiles and comics involvement, or how you do comics and textiles together and stuff like that. So yeah, everything from that and the more political stuff and mainstream stuff. So
did you stay for all of them, or did you pick and choose?
No, I did all of them except for one that was like just after the lunch break. So we went out to get some lunch and didn't get back quite in time to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was really cool as well, because again, you've got, other than the fact that the conversations were cool and the presenters were amazing and their work is always amazing, and but again, being in a room with people who are aspiring cartoonists, just interested in comics, and people who are more experienced at making comics, as well as the presenters, so the room was filled with lots of different people.
Right.
And so Tim McBurney was on the second panel, maybe the first or the second panel. So Tim McBurney, Adelaide native, he's done some beautiful stuff for the French market. Currently working for a computer game company, but doing comics based on the computer game lore, the LORE of the world of the game that they're making at the moment, and he's just making comics for them for that, which is pretty wild kind of
nice
job to have. It's pretty cool. He's definitely got that French sensibility. He's mostly digital now, but it's beautiful, full color, and I'm pretty sure he comes from a traditional background, and that's very much transferred over. But there was a point where we were watching, must have been listening to the second conversation, and I spotted Tim was over the other side of the room drawing on his iPad, and I went, I'm going to go over there and watch that while I'm listening. So I didn't stay there for too long, but I went over and I looked over Tim's shoulder. It was really interesting to watch him work, even for the 3 minutes that I stood there, because I don't know how much you've seen of digital artists on YouTube and whatnot. And I'm surrounded by them now at JMC, where I lecture. Interesting, in the last probably 5 years, it's gone from having almost nobody in the room, in the classroom with a tablet of some sort, to basically everybody's got one.
Yeah, I bet.
But they have this tendency to do a very quick flicked line. So it's a flick and an undo, flick and undo, flick and undo, trying to flick it into the right spot, like you're trying to get a basketball in a basket. And then I was watching Tim McBurney, and he's just got this super considered line where he's just drawing it beautifully, every little line, one after the other. And this was just pencils. It wasn't like he was doing inks where he really had to slow down. It's just, and every line was beautiful. And, he undid maybe once, hit undo maybe once. So yeah, it was really interesting to watch that happen.
Nice bonus.
And then, another point of the day, Sam Wallman, who does very political comics, and amazing design and color in the comics. Like, it's, I when I design a page, I'm just designing for storytelling and into panel composition, etc. But he does like this amazing. It's closer to graphic design and poster design, even when he's doing paneled pages. Incredible, beautiful stuff. And he was sitting there working as well before. I think it was before his panel. I'm gonna sit down and watch him. So he was doing inking. It was interesting watching him because he had a little bit more abandon than what Tim had, but it still wasn't quite that flick, undo, flick, undo, flick, undo. He was kind of trying to get the lines down. He works in a much chunkier kind of cartoony style. Tim works in a much more kind of elegant and
illustrative,
illustrative sort of style. So yeah, and then I looked around the room. I've taken one. I think I took one really cool picture. But I was just looking around the room at all of the people drawing at that point. I was going, oh my God, this is so cool. And some of them are taking notes or visual notes, and some of them are drawing the people around, and some of them are working on their work. So yeah, it was that was a really energizing beginning to the proper Papercuts proper. Like the night before is cool, but it's very much watching people's work, which is cool. But then to be in this room where there was obviously all of this energy bubbling around where people were drawing, and I've seen a few of them on Instagram now on people's stories. I go, oh yeah, I did see that one over that person's shoulder. That's who that person was. And so yeah, that was very cool.
Did you see anyone bring in their physical drawing board and set up their drawing board and their A3 Bristol boards and ink on the side table and move chairs a way to make room for themselves when their spotlight, their arch light? And
no one did that. They should. Hey, why haven't we got a section over to the left for people who need a drawing board?
Yeah, that's
or
right.
An easel.
For artists with disabilities.
Traditional disabilities. So yeah, that was really cool. Yeah.
No, I was just saying.
That's you.
I'm just sitting in the corner. Just face me towards the corner, and I'll be in trouble. Yeah.
That one's on you. Okay, very good. Well, you know what else I did on Friday? I'm trying to remember because there was stuff that I did. I know one of the things I did was I went to Daniel Best's house. Daniel very kindly picked me up from Greenlight Comics, and we drove back to his beautiful house on his beautiful tree-lined street. I wanted to go to look at his original art collection and just to see that wall of books that he's got. And so yeah, he's got a pretty incredible original art collection, and we were just going out into the hallway to look at the ones that are framed on the wall to begin with. And as we walked past a little cabinet, he said, they're in there, the rest of it's in there. And he said, those three doors or whatever they were, little cabinet doors.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Wow, that's like that much original art. Like that's how wide the cabinet was. It must be that much original art. So yeah. I wanted to see the original art, and I wanted to see an original copy of Adventure Illustrated #1 from 1990. What, Gary?
1985.
Oh, 1985. Holy crap, from 1985. The ones that were ready to ship out to newsagents, but then a storm wrecked the whole print run in the warehouse except for 6 copies that are somewhere in the country.
That had been grabbed by my publishing person at the time, and he sprinkled them around to various people like myself. But the rest of the stock that was on pallets back at the printer's warehouse all got drenched with some storm water. So they all got binned. They all got.
So that's a really, for me and my time in Australian comics, that's a really important artifact to hold. So I really wanted to see that. So I got to hold that. I think Daniel still says it's kind of on loan from you, and that he's just minding it, making sure it's safe.
That was the agreed stipulation that he can sleep with it as much as he wants. It's got to stay in the plastic though. I
took it out of the plastic. I wanted to flick through it.
Right.
Yes. But anyway, so that was really important. I wanted to see that, and I wanted to see his collection of your original art, which was mind-blowing. Because #1, for how much he's got of it, but #2, how beautiful every single page is, and how
that's nice.
again, that word considered, how perfect, how specific, every single line, every brushstroke, incredible. So if I'd had, 3 more hours, I would have like really gone looked at every panel for much longer. It's beautiful reading your comics, and this is the same for almost anybody's original artwork. It's
That's
different
true.
when you
Yeah,
see the artwork.
it's true.
It's a disconnect in a good way, where you start to look at it as a piece of art and a piece of physicality, and you want to see what those brushstrokes are. And I can see just that little bit of pencil mark still there. And
I've forgotten actually what he's got. I know he's got a whole chunk of the John Law stuff, but was there anything there that you flicked through that was of interest to you from my back catalogue of stuff?
He's got the Spirit as well, the Spirit story.
Yeah, he does. Yes.
I think, does he have like 2 versions of that, or parts of the 2 versions? Because you started to do that as John Law first, and then they did want it for the Spirit after all. And
there is another version of the front page and back page, I think, first and last pages.
And the what's the Robert E. Howard one? I can never remember the name.
Breckenridge Elkins.
That's right, Breckenridge Elkins. He showed me those, including the X-rated part. So that was good fun as well. And it's great to see the like, especially your, the Jackaroo stuff, and it translated, I think, almost directly, you correct me if I'm wrong, directly to your John Law and Spirit stuff, just your amazing, beautiful, fluid, inky line stuff, and the beautiful design of the pages. But the Breckenridge material has definitely a different attack, right? A different approach. And is there almost no brushwork there, or you're just treating
there's no brushwork at all?
Yeah,
and a bit scratchier, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and definitely a bit scratchier. There's a difference to the quality of the line. So yeah, and I've seen that when I've seen it online. I think that's the only place I've ever seen it online. So yeah, to see the pages in my hand and go, oh yeah, I can see the specific different in the approach that you took. It's like when you did the work you did for Gestalt with the
Unmasked.
The mythology stuff. Troy.
Proudheart.
Troy. Proudheart. Yeah. There was definitely a different approach to that as well, right? Was there almost no brushwork there as well, but you were making quite distinct.
There was a bit more brushwork in that compared to what I'd usually use, but I was thinking I was going for uber detail, like a little bit more finicky artwork.
Man, my impression of that is the open spaces as well in Proudheart. You and again, that's your amazing design sensibility, the way to have those 2 contrasts on a page. And what speaks to me, is in that design is the ability to have the quiet spaces. So that is the copy of Adventure Illustrated. Sorry, that's a little bit blown out, but anyway, there's that. And when I saw that, it was amazing to hold that in my hands.
Hello, old friend. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the first, the cover of the first Cyclone Comics. Yeah, with Jackaroo and Flash.
The first American sized edition. We went Adventure Illustrated #1, which you just showed there. Then we went to Cyclone A4 size, and then we changed our minds again and did Cyclone Australia at American comic size, and released issues 1 and 2 together. That was for the Opera House convention.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I would have picked it up the first time.
Yeah.
Beautiful page of the Spirit by you. It's not doing it justice, obviously, on screen here.
Or what I might do in the edit stage is actually insert those pages so people can see it a bit more clearly.
And the thing is, for the kiddies at home, right, when Gary puts in the proper image, you'll see the beautiful brushwork and light pen work, and it's just incredible. But, 1 page before that in the folio was a pencil rendering of the exact same drawing that you obviously didn't ink over. Would you have light boxed it? Like, why was there a pencil version of that? And then the next page over is like, well, there's the inked version. Can you remember?
I would have been trying to get it right. And I was probably I was probably light boxed over it. I do that quite a fair bit of working up something to be quite finished in the pencil stakes, and then
Right.
then light boxing over it for the inking stage, which means repenciling it on for inking.
Yeah, because there's definitely pencil marks for this as well. Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
when you show this stuff to the kiddies at home, it's just beautiful. So good. Uh, and while we're here, like I took as a random image one of these John Law images, right? So can you see that? There we go. One of these John Law images. So that's Mr. Mystic, who's
Yep.
another Eisner creation.
Mm-hmm.
John Law is a Will Eisner creation, just like the Spirit is. And Mr. Mystic is a like a Doctor Strange sort of character. But there's this line here, right? Let me put my finger on it before I bring it up. So this line here, right? And I guess that line is like that long on the page, and it's just perfect, right? And it's the width is
I wouldn't know about that, but anyway, it is.
The width is perfectly consistent, and the direction, the you know the angle, the curvature, like what. It's only just occurred to me now. Did you perhaps use a French curve to do that, or
I might
or is
have.
that just
That would have been the line work would have been done with a rapidograph, a technical pen. So
yeah, and that was my next question as well. Go ahead, keep going.
So that line would have been made with that tool. And if there was a requirement for it to look as, because I think it turns into the border, the panel border as well, it meets the panel border.
Yes,
so
it does.
I've got a feeling it probably was done with a French curve.
Right. Okay.
No, it was done with my hand, and I have such control.
Well, the thing is, there's no way you're doing everything with French curves, and then there's no inconsistency in any of the line work. It's so amazing. And then, so I was going to say, you definitely use a rapidograph, right? A technical pen, a drafting
I used
technical
to,
pen.
yeah.
Yeah, and I the set that I bought when I was in college in 1989 or whatever it was lasted for a long time, but it didn't last forever. And then only a few years ago, I thought, well, I'll just buy a new set. I know they're expensive, but I do want like that perfect line, the perfect consistency of line that a felt tip just it doesn't quite get you. Even the most expensive ones can change with a little bit of pressure, while a technical pen doesn't change with pressure. But they're just shit now. They're just terrible. Or the version I got, a technical pen for the kiddies at home who've never used one is basically a pipe, right, with a consistent opening at the end. So, and I'm not exaggerating. If you imagine a pipe with a flat cut at the end of it, and then you have to put that on the page pretty much at 90 degrees and drag it around.
Yeah,
right,
and you have to hold it at 90 degrees, to get the ink flowing equally. Yeah, down the little pipe that's in the middle of the stick that's in the middle of the pipe, so the ink runs around the outside.
It's the stick that was driving me mad. All of the version that I bought recently, the stick comes out, right, sits a little bit outside the pipe, and then goes in as you press it down.
Yeah.
Which means the first part of the line is never quite what I want it to be anymore. Yeah. And it didn't used to be that way. Sure, you used to just warm it up on a piece of paper, but you can't even do that anymore. And I just basically, I haven't chucked them. They're in the cupboard behind me, but it's like I can't use them.
Then the ink would eventually dry up in that part of the pen, and you'd have to shake it backwards and forwards and listen to the rattle, rattle, rattle as it loosens things up. And then you could risk going split all over your artwork.
And
if you clean your pens before you start an art session, like an hour and a half later, you finally got everything, the way you should before you can start inking. And I couldn't rationalize the time spent in maintaining those pens compared to what was coming on the market as far as disposable drawing pens were. So that's what I use now. Purely, I'd love to still be able to use the rapidographs, but it's a dying technology, and I just can't afford the time in maintaining the quality of the pen line. I just can't do it.
And I have a feeling
frustrating
that they're just not as good anymore either. Like I used them quite a bit back in the day, and I can't remember them being as frustrating as they are now.
I still use the Rotring black ink that I use in the rapidograph. I still use that for my wide swathes of black when I'm not lazy and use markers.
Because it's super black, right?
It's nice and dense. Yeah.
Is that worth putting your dip pen into, or your brush, or is it too thick for that?
No, I use brush with it. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Just make sure that it's washed well after you finish your session.
Yeah, I might try that the next time I need to buy some ink, because my inks are not quite solid enough, or as solid as I'd like them to be.
Right.
And what felt tips are you using?
I've done a lot of research and read a lot of Colleen Doran's posts about what is permanent, and the best ones, the archival quality pens that I can define, but I'll get back to you in 50 years to see whether they fade or not.
Yes, please do.
Just everyone uses them, or a lot of people do, microns.
Yeah, the microns. I don't know if they're on my desk. Yeah, there's a few on my desk myself, and a lot in the bag for from traveling.
I did try these. I did buy these ones, which I don't even know the brand name because it's all in Japanese, but they're brush tips. And now that I've taken the packaging away, which had any kind of English information, I don't know what brand they are, how big they are, what the numbers are, or anything like that. But they're all brush tips, so I'm going to use them. I don't know how permanent they are. I assume I bought them because they were labelled as ultra permanent or archival quality. Right. But I use them when I have a huge area just to use up the pens, just to get rid of the ink.
Yep, cool. And I bought a bunch of brush pens once at Daiso. They've got super cheap ones. I'm not using them for archival purposes, but if you just want like travel brush pens, that's a good cheap place to buy them. And again, I don't know which ones I'm buying, and I will just buy 3 different ones and see how good they are. Promising myself that I'll take notes to say, yes, this one's a good one, buy it again, and never quite doing that.
But the thing about the microns, which you alluded to about the first point of contact with the board, is that is removed with the microns. There is no, depending on the board you're using, of course, there is no bleed when you touch the point of pen to paper. So you can just get straight into it, which is good.
Yeah. And, I have, we talked about Terry Austin last week, and that was, even to an untrained person like me, a teenager, I could tell he was using Artline pens to do his inking. It's borne out now when you see any of the original artwork. Most of, like half of a page in different patches will be very light blue or very light grey because they've just faded so much. And then the rest of it will be his proper rotring pens, technical pens, and some brushwork. But a lot of the way that he got the change in the line was because it was an art line, and because when you go faster, it will let out less ink. You can't do that with a technical pen. You pretty much have to have the consistency of speed. But he was getting these really cool tactile aspects to his inking because of that. And I could tell already. And I was one of those people, I was going to say millions, it's probably not millions, thousands of kids dreaming of being a comic book artist and trying to emulate whatever the hell it was that Austin was doing over Burns pencils because of how cool it looked. But it's so hard to get right. And anyone who's tried to do it and not gotten it right, it just looks terrible because it's
just as an associated subject. I just was listening to or watching the Rob Liefeld show this week, and it was an art show, and because he's had quite a few pages come up on the heritage auctions recently, and there was one that was held last week that had like 3 or 4 pages of his, and he was holding up the heritage catalogue, and just like you mentioned then, some of his X-Force pages and New Mutants pages had all black line work, but where he had big swathes of black, he'd used an art line or a what do they call it, a Sharpie, he admitted, and then it just turned brown, like pale brown. Very unattractive as far as the permanency is concerned, and even just visually, if you were collecting art, that'd be a bit of a turn off. But they were getting thousands and thousands and thousands of
course they were
kids and stuff like that.
It's again, Colleen Doran, if we've talked about Substack before, if you don't read her Substack, you probably should have a look at it, even just to read the kind of things that she's written about with light fastness of pens, because a lot of them say they light fast and they're not. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the markers that I've used in the past have said that they're light fast, and they're probably not. If longevity of your art is important to you, it's something to look into.
You got to look into terms like archival quality, UV resistant, or all that kind of stuff. So there are different terms that elevate the pen, and of course you're probably going to have to pay more for the better quality pen. But it is a concern, particularly like if you have a career similar to Liefeld's and you're selling artwork, you don't want that stuff or if you have a secondary market for your artwork, you don't want that problem of fading. You want to go into it a little bit more confidently, going, oh no, well at least I use the right tools, apparently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So there you go.
So anyway, so that was Danny Best and his original art collection.
That's right.
That was
I
the
was going to have
Friday.
I was going to have one more thing, and that was this was a page or like a tier. I'm sorry, it's out of focus. I can't do much about it. A tier of your pencils, and it's like, well, I think I've probably said it to you in the past. You could just be scanning your pencils and fiddling with the levels in Photoshop and printing it from there, right?
Well, I
But
think I
a
did
lot of
with
your
that stuff.
pencils are perfect. Oh, okay.
There was a stage where I was posting them online before the print deal, and I was doing it a tier at a time, and I was going through the same questions of, why am I doing all this work to be inking over it when I could just pump up the contrast in Photoshop?
Yeah.
And I think that particular tier was one of them that I actually did just scan in and went wunk.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, beautiful work. Yeah. So sorry, that was Friday. So back to Saturday with the comic creators and conversation. That was a wonderful day. And then on Saturday night, as a satellite event is what I'm kind of terming it. So not an official Papercuts event, although Papercuts supported it by talking about it a few times, which we were really grateful about. Tim Parrish from Wild North Comics in Darwin put on a night called Anima. So he hired a cinema, and tickets were like, I don't know, $17 for a seat in the cinema. He hired a cinema, the Mercury, and was showing moving pictures associated with comics. So we saw a little bit of the Deep and a little bit of behind the scenes, and some interviews with Tom Taylor in association with the Deep. We saw the similar sort of stuff with Nathan Juravicius's Scary Girl and the wonderful film that they made of that, and the computer game of that. And then Wild North Comics themselves have got 3 pieces of comic work that have got moving pictures associated with it. 0 Point, which is like an indigenous, made by an indigenous fella, Jonathan Saunders, but it's superhero stuff, right? But it's got a let's pick a page at random. It's got a huge 1980s anime kind of feel to it as well. So it's like ticking some boxes there that I really like. So yeah, and Jonathan is an animator at times, so there was animated work to show from that. So we looked at that animation from that. A graphic novel of Wild North's that was premiered at Papercuts. Somebody's funeral. The something funeral has some animation associated with that, so we watched some of that. And the third one was Australia, who you remember won.
I was about to ask
a gold or a silver ledger when it first came out. Australia, yeah, and they're well along the path of creating a television show out of that. So they're doing their designs, their pitch bible, and some animatics. So animatics are storyboards that are then cut and edited to time, sometimes with sound effects. And so we were watching an animatic of that, which again looks really cool. Again, if you've seen Australia, very kind of European flavor to this very Australian looking story. It's again a really nice kind of crossover, I think. And yeah, there was some discussion there in the Q&A about how they're moving that illustrative look of the comic to hand-drawn cartoons, which is, needs to be more simplified, and then thinking about adjusting for target audience, older, younger, how much detail that requires, and that kind of thing. So, that kind of discussion was happening. And then we as in Greener Pastures showed 5 minutes of our 15-minute movie. So a third of the movie was shown, which was really exciting. A 5-minute BTS behind the scenes as well. And I talked a little bit about it as well, probably too long. The whole night went way over, but I've been told it's not my fault. They were already way over time before I even stood up to say anything. So that was really exciting because it's the first time that the Greener Pastures short film material was on a big screen, on a cinema screen. And yes, it was still just the digital file coming out of Tim Parrish's laptop. But I raced up the back and tried to center myself, and I don't think it really worked. But to try to just look at it as the experience on the screen. It was pretty amazing. Anne-Marie was there as well, and she agrees it was a little bit overwhelming to go, holy shit, this is not just something on YouTube. This is real. This is going to be in cinemas, and yeah.
So what was the crowd? Was it packed out? Was there a lot of people there?
No, unfortunately it wasn't. I've been watching what Tim's been doing online to Tim Parrish to promote, and he's worked really hard. It's all over my timelines, but obviously not over too many other people's timelines. And because it was on the Saturday night, it was the day before the market day, so the big crowds hadn't heard of it. So I think we had like 40 people, but we had 40 very engaged people who really wanted to be there.
And what was the reaction like to Greener Pastures in particular?
Positive, overwhelmingly positive, which is really cool. We showed 3 scenes. Nick, the director, Nick Kachevsky, said, "Show them this one," and it's like I wrote back and I said, "Is that even 2 minutes? I want to show more than that. Let's show the next scene, which follows really well." And then I'm going, it's still only like 3.5 minutes. Let's show the scene after that as well. So I showed a good chunky 3 scenes, and one of them has something happen in it that when you write it on page, you can see it working. And if I was to draw it as a comic, I could make it work. But when we shoot it, and then when we see the cut, I'm going, does it work? Like that, we're trying to do something here where the audience has to connect dots. Are we connecting the dots? And the people I spoke to said, no, very obvious what was going on there, in a good way, like not in a angle on the head sort of way. It wasn't. We didn't get confused as to what the hell was going on there. It was very cool. It was like maybe 4 minutes in to the film, so we missed the opening kind of passages, and then this big 5 minutes, and then we've got like 2 more big scenes that happen after that.
Are they all continuous? They flow on, or are they from different sections of the?
No, different section. Oh no, what we showed was continuous, continuous. But where that sits in the movie, right? We've got like the next bit. It was really the setup is what we showed. The setup that has Trevor, not the origin, but the setup of the story, and then the rest of the movie is, what do you call it? The resolution of what we've just set up. Yeah.
So what was it like standing at the back of the cinema? I know you tried to get your head straight to sort of see it as someone would be seeing it on the big screen for the first time, but you'd seen it already. What was going through your mind as you were watching it, or was it all a bit too much?
Yeah, I can't even remember. Like, I think I wanted to take a few photos to try to get some crowd and screen, and and by the time that was over, I'm going, so can I like you say, get my head straight? And I think I tried to, but I can't even quite remember. But I can remember afterwards, thinking that was a pretty cool experience. That's huge, great close-ups of our amazing prosthetic. It looks amazing. And the other thing is, to skip ahead a little bit, I had it running on my iPad as well all day at the market day. I had that 5 minutes and all the other bits and pieces, the trailer and the BTS, etc., on loop. And the biggest reaction, or the most repeated reaction after saying, wow, that was amazing, that we got from everybody from the night, as well as people watching it at the market day on my little iPad, was, to paraphrase, that looks like a real one. It doesn't look like some shoddy fan film. I think I only this
they were addressing the standard of production.
Yeah. They're going, it's cinematic, it's filmic. The cinematographer. Somebody even asked me, who was your cinematographer, because they were into film and wanted to know if they could recognize the name or not. And that's exactly what we wanted. We didn't want a C-grade fan film. We wanted something that was 100% real to cinema. You're going to see it in the cinema. I know eventually everyone's going to watch it online, but we're going to show it in the cinema at film festivals and
you want that
at premieres. Yeah, we want it to feel like you're in the cinema, not watching television on a big screen or something.
Yeah, good on you, Nick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Nick wouldn't have made anything less.
Yeah.
So, so while we're on the subject, I know we keep on, I guess we're just using Papercuts as a reason to talk about other things a little bit as well. While we're on the subject, Nick Kachevsky, our director and co-writer, has been making short films for 17 years. One of those short films turned into 2 feature films, which is huge, experience for Nick as well, and shows how great he is. His short then was given millions of dollars to go and make a feature and then a sequel. But he's been trying to get on Screen Australia's radar for that entire time, from when he was 24, 17 years ago to now, has just been trying to get on their radar and trying to get the help that you need to make a bigger and bigger thing. And every time he's only ever put his own money into it. I think this last couple of years might be the only time that people have commissioned him to do a short based on their stuff, which he then, reworks, kind of like what he reworked with us. And Screen Australia have finally kind of cottoned on to Nick, which is so good. We just had a really great conversation last night, Nick and I, on the phone, but this has been going on for a few weeks now, a month or more, where Screen Australia contacted Nick and said, we've had a number of projects come across our desk, which are all great, and you seem to be the common factor. Who are you? It was the way he related it to me. And he's kind of going, who am I? I've been telling you who I am for like 10 to 15 years.
Now you ask.
Yeah, that's right. But it's great. We're so glad that they finally have asked. So now they're being as supportive as possible and really trying to figure out how to help Nick become the success he should be. And one of the things they say, obviously, is, so he came in for meetings to Screen Australia, and they're saying, so who are you? What are you making? How does it work? What, et cetera. And what is your current slate? So your slate is, the work that you've got on at the moment. And he's got from fully finished feature-length scripts all the way through to pitch Bibles. He's got, I don't know, 8 things that are ready to go. Greener Pastures is one of those. So there's that, and he sent them a link to the trailer when it came out, and they were very excited about the trailer and they specifically said to Nick, so what festivals is this in? Like, where are you putting this? What film festivals? And it's really cool. I love it because I'm not used to this kind of stuff. But I love it because whenever I say to people, especially like face to face, I go, so we're going to, put in some film festivals. Go, oh yeah. People go, so MIF, Melbourne International Film Festival is cool, and they've got a good horror one in Sydney or whatever. I go, no. Screen Australia have asked us to be sure that it goes to South by Southwest, not Sydney, Austin, Texas, the big one, Sundance in Utah, Berlinale in Berlin. Like they were the 3 top ones. They said, we have already contacted those 3 on your behalf to say to them, keep an eye out for this when it arrives, because we think it's the real deal. So when the national body is saying to Berlinale, which is a really big kind of trading conference as well for film and television. When the national body says to Berlinale, we really think you should consider this for your shorts section. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. And the thing is, Berlinale requires a world premiere. They won't show it unless it's a world premiere.
Okay.
Sundance requires I think it's a North American premiere. And I think South by Southwest would like that, but don't have to have that. So it depends on how good your work is, if they'll take it or not. If it's already been shown, like at Sundance, there's Boots. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. The film's not finished.
Exciting.
We've shot them an offline edit, with some dodgy FX saying this is so you can see the story. Those FX will be VFX will be swapped out for the proper deal, and et cetera, et cetera. But I believe that's a thing that happens sometimes when you're that close to finishing and don't want to wait another year before you can start showing it. So, and at the very um, pragmatic end of that, if we get accepted, and we're not thinking that we will, we're hoping that we will. If we get accepted to any of these kind of level of festivals, all of a sudden there are eyes on this movie that we wouldn't otherwise have, and it means a lot when we try to pitch it as a television show or a movie.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why we made it in the first place. That's right.
Yeah.
So if we get in, so at the moment we sit here going, "Oh, I hope we get in. I hope we get in." And then if we get in, we're going to be sitting there going, "Oh, I hope we get a prize. I hope we get a prize." And if we get a prize, we'll be sitting there going,
everything just escalates.
That's right, exactly. I hope that means somebody would like to give us some money to make a television show.
Wow.
So that's where we're at the moment. That's very exciting.
Meanwhile, you got to keep on drawing comics.
That's right. If only I had time. You can see it in the background. It's like that song. There's dust on my guitar. You whatever. Yeah. There's dust on my drawing board, which is very annoying. But we'll get there soon. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
did you see Boots?
Yes, I saw Boots. She's found her way back to your place, has she?
Yeah, she finally has.
Okay,
looking after our own cat.
We are currently at Saturday night at Papercuts.
So that was Anima.
That was Anima. You went home and got a tough night's sleep for the big market day the next day.
That's right.
How did the market day go?
Really good. It's if you're a comic book maker, you need to go either as an attendee or as a tabler, and if you don't get a table, just go anyway to probably Papercuts or PCAF. I've only been to each of them once, but the beautiful energy in the market hall is palpable. It is so incredible, and I said to Owen, so let's do the shout out to Owen and Gina. They run Papercuts. They are Papercuts, and yes, there's lots of volunteers and there's grant money, etc. But it's definitely like if it wasn't for George and Owen, it just wouldn't happen. And coming from the amount of work I did in comic conventions, the mainstream ones, and trying to do community events as well, and running the ledgers and the cars with you, like I totally get what is on their shoulders every time they do it, and it was I had to kind of either not look at George and Owen or release the emotion somehow, because I really felt the incredible burden for them and the amazing job that they did. It was incredible. It was so good. So I probably broke into people's personal spaces a couple of times I shouldn't by giving them a little hug or whatever. To otherwise I possibly would have teared up or something, because they're doing an amazing job and they need that energy, and that's why they got that platinum ledger right a few years ago, to say amazing job. Do it again, please. And every time I've ever seen,
give us more paper cuts. Ow.
That's right. Yeah. Life by a million paper cuts.
Yes.
But it's really hard work, and it's like you and me when we were doing the ledgers, and the cars, and when I was doing other stuff. We want to be drawing the comics, and like Owen wants to be drawing comics, and he hasn't had the chance to draw comics for far too long.
Yeah.
Georgina is somehow juggling both her graphic novel and doing this at the same time. So anytime, unfortunately, I didn't get to really have a good chat with Gina, but Owen, I said, so 2 years time, we'll see you again. He's going, I don't know. But he said that
last time.
That's and the time before that, which
it takes them 2 years to recover, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the healthy reaction. Do it again? Oh, I don't know.
It's like asking a mum, "You have more kids?" No way. As they're nursing one, no way. And then a couple of months down the track, guess what?
That's right. Yeah. So hopefully, because it's PCAF and Papercuts are different, but they're both so important. And that market day is amazing, and partly because it's free, and I think there's an absolute difference in attitude from the grassroots all the way through because it's going to be free, and because it's an arts festival, and because it's got grants. And I think the mindset of everybody involved is just that little bit different to if it was a ticketed, huge, mainstreamy sort of event, which have their important place as well. But I think that that there's not just a philosophical difference, but I think that philosophical difference has a palpable feeling on the floor and in the room. So yeah,
I would agree. It's an important distinction between the two animals. The vibe is different. Yeah.
And I did a quick count of the list of people that were at the market day at Papercuts and the list of people that were at the market day at PCAF, and it's almost exactly the same number, which is like 130, something like that.
It's amazing.
And yeah, I think, did I say it last week on the show? I said it to a few people over the weekend. This has got to be the largest floor of comic book makers in the country. And Owen himself said it's either us or PCAF, and there's a bit of an arm wrestle there, which I think is a great thing, right? And there were definitely, he had to turn people away because they're in the town hall. They could only fit so many people. And so he said it was, I think they had 140 people apply. So there was probably upwards to 150 or more who wanted to be there and couldn't, so couldn't all be there. So yeah, I was very grateful that I got a full table, because most people only got a half table.
Yeah, cool. Did you get much of a chance to look around, or were you pretty flat out staying behind your table?
Pretty flat out. I don't know if you can see them. There's two boxes here. So both those boxes were full when we went to Adelaide, and only one of them's full now. I always overpack. When we went to PCAF, I actually sold out. I didn't take enough. I underestimated. When I say sold out, I never say that as if it's a big deal. It just means that you didn't bring enough. Because if I brought 5, I'd be selling out at every event I go to. So I took 2 short boxes with me, but I sold an entire short box of comics, which is really cool. We did some selling at the Anima screening on the Saturday night, and then everything else at the market day.
Yeah, good on you, Bongo.
So yeah. my beautiful booth babe sitting there helping the entire weekend. So yeah, good sales for my comic, which most people have never heard of. We had I've got a stack of stuff here that I thought if we run out of things to talk about, I can show. But I got gifted some comics, which is beautiful. I'm so grateful to everyone who does it. But this is Charles and the Eggman, and that's was it Simon Green? Where is his name? So I make sure I get it right. Simon Gray. Simon Gray. So Tim Fisher and Simon Gray make it. But Simon Gray said, I sent you fan mail back in the day. And this is my comic, so I want to give you that. That's actually a cover by Ben Hutchings Hutcho. So yeah, but there's cool. three issues he gifted me there, which is beautiful. Nice. So yeah, so I had everybody from like old fans from way back in the 90s to new people who are going, "What is this? This sounds interesting." And
that's what you want.
And the film running on the iPad brought a few eyeballs. A lot of the time that didn't eventuate to a sale because they're interested in watching the thing, but sometimes it did, and vice versa. I'd sell it and then I'd talk about the film, and so yeah, it was really super duper. I'll tell you, one of the people that I really was glad to see there.
I picked up that a couple of years ago. That's great.
Is Zelds Magnunis, not his real name.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that for I don't know how many decades, possibly. Zelds, Niall O'Connor, I think it is. But yeah, went under the name of Zelds, and he only makes comics about the beautiful game, soccer, football. And he did one of the read to me or the talking pictures on the Friday night, and he's just amazing. He's just so funny, and the drawings are beautiful. Back in the day when he was doing Pepe, which was a soccer comic, as mini comics, A5 mini comics, the drawings were incredible. This really liquid line. so yeah, his style moves and changes
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's an illustrator and designer. So yeah, that I'm really keen to see. And he was so beautiful, gave me a hug. He was so pleased to see me as well. So that I'm really keen to see. So he's working on an OGN
That'll
all
be
on
pretty
soccer.
mighty when it's done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And his wonderful Irish accent. I picked up these, even though I have a different
Ah,
version of these.
yes,
This is
Fortress.
Fortress.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've talked about Joel Vandernap before.
yeah,
So I picked up
nice.
those. Amazing. I wanted to chat with him. I wanted to chat where his influences are. It feels to me, I know we say the word John Byrne a lot, but I think he's about our vintage, Joel. It just feels like John Byrne crossed with Ashley Wood.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
with a really healthy dose of manga thrown in as well.
yeah.
I love his stuff. Yeah, and I showed you Zero Point, which is
Zero
cool.
point.
Uh,
Yes.
Anne Marie bought this one from your
Ah,
Taswegian
yes, yes,
uh,
yes. I'm familiar with that.
pal Alyssa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, because Alyssa did one of the panels on the Saturday, and Anne-Marie said that sounds like a really interesting book. I think I'll buy that one. So that's Anne-Marie's book there. It's
I
about
think I
growing up
think I think
in.
I'm tabling with Alyssa Bermudez at the ACA's in October.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
doing a panel with her.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Hmm.
you've got inside info.
So I've been told.
Oh, screen cap that, everybody. What's going on at the ACA Stanley's conference?
Yeah. Well, haven't you got your voting book yet? Or
Mm. Oh, so that came with the voting book?
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. It's probably coming in the next day or so.
Right. Yep. Okay. So
Well, Alyssa's
yeah, I'll get to
lovely.
meet her and talk about Big Apple Diaries, no doubt.
Yeah, so she lives in Hobart, like
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And
I don't live
so,
in Hobart.
oh, well, in Tasmania, just outside of Hobart. She probably lives just outside of Hobart as well, I think. I don't think she's actually in the burbs there. But yeah, so yeah, that's an interesting one. I
Yeah.
love a two-color comic.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
if I
Lovely.
had some time, I'd do some shorts like that. Maybe that's what I should actually. Maybe that's what I should do with some of the Greener Pastures team ups that will end up happening. Maybe I should do some two color stuff for that. That'd be interesting. Um, so yeah, that's
Where
she
did I?
tabled with Mike Barry at the
I was going to show something as
Papercuts.
well in a similar format. Yeah, that's a interesting size. That's pretty standard trim size these days for that kind of material. For
Yeah,
uh,
it's a middle school kind of
yeah.
novel size sort of thing.
What happened to? Of course, yeah, Rob Lyle and Ben Sullivan's Free Monkey
Yeah,
is the
yeah, yeah.
same trim size. Just trying to. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Anyway, here it is. Yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to that. The trim size when you're used to American comics and to European
Mm,
albums and things like that, but it's the same thing.
yeah, yeah.
Beautifully drawn throughout. But
Mm. See all of the grayscale there. If
yeah,
it was like a blue or something, would
yeah,
be really
yeah,
cool too.
yeah, indeed. Anyway, that's just been
Yeah,
my
actually, I did
experience.
that once. So I did a one pager for. Sorry, you finish up and then I'll
No,
talk.
I was done. I was just closest thing to a flog that I can flog the monkey, flog the monkey.
Not a euphemism. Um, yeah, I did a short, a one pager for that Tides of Hope
Yeah,
charity comic that we did, and
yeah,
that was grayscale. And then the next time I reprinted it in a comic I was just using as a portfolio, I took the grayscale layer and just converted it all to blue, and I went, oh, that's much nicer than just being in grayscale. So yeah. So I'm just going to really quickly, because somebody
yeah,
was very kind enough to give me that
yeah,
the City of Monsters, and that looks
yeah.
really cool. It's the opening
Nice.
pages of a much longer story.
Yeah,
The number of people that I met who were working on a 150 or 250 page graphic novel is pretty incredible. Yeah, so I picked that up from Jake Holmes. or Jake rather, gifted that to me, which was really nice. Next to Jake, can't remember the artist's name, but they were doing a story called Side Quests. And I said, so this is like 12 pages. She said, yeah, this is just the opening pages because I've got a book deal already. And I'm going, well, I think she said with Penguin, maybe, but it's like, you've got a proper book deal. This is amazing. So she's working on her, 100 or 200 page piece of work. Can't go any further without talking about Brendan Boydie, who we've known from way back in the day. He released these 2 brand new comics. He learned so much about working digitally. He said, there is a whole comic here of all the things I did wrong. So yeah, he did that. But he also gave me like either reissues of his old stuff from the 90s or, actual, printings from back then that he's still got. Right. So he gave me a bunch of stuff. But the crazy bugger, he was a real big fan of Greener Pastures. There's him, because they're mostly like autobiographical, right? So the guy with the glasses is Brendo. But there he is at the Cucumgilliga trade station. Cucumgilliga is where Trevor Bovas comes from, with a tattoo man and a box comics in the background. And the person in the ticket window is Russell, who's Trevor's farmer. Zooniverse there. So and that's only one of several mentions of Greener Pastures throughout this stuff, which is very cool. So I'm always grateful for those giftings. I got that finally. I haven't got my copy of that before, but this is a quick Nick Cleary anthology by a few different people, but all with the theme of flying. And there's an old Greener Pastures story where Trevor jumps out of an aeroplane. And I said, you can have that to print if you want. But other, great stuff in there, including Spedsy and Nick May.
Did you have a look at Quick Nick's latest? He was.
No, I didn't have a chance. You asked me earlier if I went around. I went around before opening, and spoke to a few people, but not everybody was there, and not everybody was ready to make sales either. Somebody gave me this, which is beautiful, grab bag. So great that photocopy mini comics are still
going, still a thing.
Yep. But I bought this. Lunar Express by Campbell White. And I could wait until it's published properly, right? But why wait for the commercial capitalist publishing juggernaut to publish it when Campbell's actually done a bootleg? So this is like pre-publishing before it's actually released by the real publisher. I don't know how many he had, not a lot. And I bought that before opening. I was his first sale because I wanted to make sure I got a copy of that.
Very interesting.
As a bootleg. He's not the only one who's done that. There's been a few other people who've like bootlegged their own stuff pre-publishing because they can't wait. How long do you want to hold on to something before you let people see it? Lunar Express, it looks beautiful. And I think his nutshell of what is Lunar Express is what if Sailor Moon was set in Australia, something like that.
Or set in Perth.
And yes, Perth specifically. Just gorgeous.
Right, lovely.
So hopefully I'll get around to reading them. And Dave Hodson was there. Can you believe it? I'm so grateful that Dave was there. I walked across. He was like diagonally opposite where I was sitting. I think I've got a copy of that somewhere, but I wanted something that he could write in, so I bought another copy of it so he could sign it to me.
Cool.
He's a real gift to Australian comics from back in the day. Tried to send. I didn't have the chance really to send many people across to other people's tables, but when people weren't interested in my stuff because they're not dyed-in-the-wool comic readers yet, and I'm going, well, you know what? Autobiographical stuff, especially short stories, good place to go. Go and talk to those guys, and I would send them across immediately.
Nice.
Yes. So I think
so a pretty huge weekend, and you flew out on the Sunday evening, did you?
Yes. Oh my God. I so wish I could have stayed for the after party. It's not very often I party, but that sounds like it would have been a good night to have
Oh,
been at.
yeah,
Uh, it sounds like it went on for a few hours,
yeah, I bet it did.
into
Yes,
the wee hours. So
yeah.
yes, but no, I had to fly out. Anne-Marie had to go back to work. Some of us have to work.
So another
So
great weekend of Aussie comics.
so good, so good, and the
Mm.
people are beautiful. All of the cartoonists in that room, they were all so beautiful. I met David Blumenstein, or I've seen, I know David. I saw David and their daughter Rachel, who was sitting there last minute, 3 minutes before opening, still folding and stapling her mini comics. So 10-year-old Rachel, which is very cool. So there was a few kids there with tables, selling their own stuff, as well as old people like me, and yeah, the support was incredible, and
It's all
a
very
huge cheer
inspirational.
at the end.
Mm.
Yeah, the inspirational was what I would say was Owen's speech at the end when it was closing time. He said, if you're tabling here, pack up and get out. If you're not tabling here, just get out." I think that was his speech. Yeah, we were done. Yes, thank you, Owen.
Yeah.
Beautiful, heartfelt words. So
Mm.
yeah, so yes, please, more paper cuts, more PCAF. Scamp is coming up in Sydney. I think Scamp is got the wish to be like a paper cuts or a PCAF as well. So whatever form Scamp takes for the next few years needs to be supported so that we can have a festival of a similar ilk here in Sydney.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. It'll happen. It'll happen.
Hmm.
While you were flashing around your booty or your haul from Papercuts, I was going to
Not a
throw,
euphemism.
yeah, I was going to throw in a shout out for Jason Paulos and his Holy Devil graphic novel, which he finished over
Mm.
the last week or so, and he's been spruiking that on his Amazon store. So it was only because back in 2017 he sent me the first 25 pages of this.
Wow.
I'm sure he started it probably X amount of time previous to 2017. So this has been
Hmm.
on the on his creative agenda for quite a while, and he finally bit the bullet and just much like Rasputin and finished it all off. So it's turned into 136 pages, and he's just recently finished it and posted it online. So I'll post a cover shot in the edit of this. I just wanted to
Brilliant.
tip of the hat to Jason for dragging an old project out of the wardrobe and finishing it all off, and
Yeah.
having the smarts and tenacity after he got his print sample back to read the whole thing and realizes that he had to add a couple of pages because it didn't make much
Ah,
continuity sense. So he actually
right. I didn't know
went
that.
back, drew another couple of pages and inserted them, and the whole thing reads a hell of a lot better. But a lot of people wouldn't
Wow.
go to that bother. But good
Yeah.
luck to him, and good on him for going from 2016, 2017 through to 2025 and finally releasing a 136 pager. So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Cool.
Holy
Yeah.
Devil.
He sent me a link as well, and I haven't had a chance to even tap on the link yet. So
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
have a look at
yeah.
that. Holy Devil.
So if you like
Brilliant.
Chase's stuff, having a whole 136 pages to chow down on would be a thing to do if you hit him up on his Amazon site.
Cool. Color or black and white?
Color throughout. Yeah.
Color throughout, and
Yeah.
I know he hates coloring. So he's really committed to what he thinks is a great story here.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
can't wait to read it. I'm sure it is.
But the feeling of getting that project done and out the way after so long would be huge. So I hope he's very satisfied with the results.
Yeah, very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Wow. Well done, Jace.
Mm.
Yeah,
And in the mail today.
this prolificness, people being prolific is like one of the things that's just been hammering me on the head. And yeah, there's another one, Bodine. Yeah, how prolific is he? All these people that are turning out pages, it's got to be done. I've got a great quote. Old episode of what do you call it again? Uh, Vito X Dino,
Oh, Vito
Vito
X
X
Dino.
Dino.
Yes.
Yeah, an old episode of that because I'm way behind. Somebody that they were interviewing said, so this is a quote from one of the interviewees on their show, said when they were talking about, momentum, I think is what they were talking about, momentum and regularity and getting your comic out and getting it done. He said, well, somebody said to me once, do you know what people do when they finish reading a comic? I said, no, what do they do when you finish reading a comic? They pick up another fucking comic book. You got to get the next one ready to go. And that's absolutely right. That is exactly, if that's what you're doing, right? If that's what you're doing, like maybe floppies or that serialized method of making comics, which a lot of what I've got here from PCAP is. But even someone like Campbell White, who went from Home Time to Lunar Express, it's like, well, I've read Home Time 5 times because it's so great. When do I get the next thing? So yeah,
Yes, it's a
what do people
voracious kind
do?
of thing. So
Yeah,
momentum. If you're doing it well, that momentum should sustain itself into the next project. But
yeah,
don't stop. That's the key. Don't stop in any way, shape,
yeah,
or form. Try and maintain that momentum.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
if you're starting to have a career and a success rate for yourself, you don't want it to go cold.
That's right. Okay, what else have I got here? So by the time this comes out, as in this podcast, you would have missed the off the page opening of the exhibition and the Speaking to Pictures live reading. But the exhibition, I think, will go for a period of time, I hope. And I don't know a lot about the exhibition, so you fill in any gaps if you know of them, Gary. But it's called Comics Off the Page. And I get what it is now because I follow I follow a number of the people who are exhibiting at this thing, and they're trying to do the exhibition is not comic pages on a wall. It's like three-dimensionalized and other things that you can do and still
Oh,
try to call it a comic,
right.
which I really love the idea of. I've always loved that. So uh, uh, one of the ones I saw, um, by Ramina, I think that's how you pronounce it. So by Ramina was quite large, maybe A1 in size. I don't think it was AO, but maybe it was AO. So large page, but in layers, physical layers, not Photoshop layers. And you can walk in between the layers, and you can see the. I think the way that they phrased it was the stages of creation of making a comic,
Right.
and
Okay.
there are parts of it that have got holes in it, and you can look through the holes to the page below,
Ah,
and this is something that you could do at print size in a print media, sure, as layers of paper, but being in a physical space and being that large is really cool. I think it was like a room or a box, a little room model of a room, and I think you look through the windows and you get the story by looking around it. Like, oh,
yeah.
that's a really cool idea too.
Yeah.
So I'm just on the page. I'm just reading on the page. Aaron Billings, Leonie Briley, Nicola Bryant, Bernard Callio, Melody Ellis, Jamie Headley, Martin Huang, Gideon Hutapaya. I haven't practiced any of these names, sorry. Eloise Grills, Ramina Yee, Caitlin McGregor, Bruce Mutard, who was there on the weekend as well, Benedict O'Leary Rutherford, Ronnie Scott, Susan Ellen Soleimani, and Emily Walsh. So great lineup. If the exhibition's still on, just look up. It's part of the Emerging Writers Festival, but I just typed in Comics Off the Page exhibition, I think is what I typed in, and
Right.
it came up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
just going to keep going for another second. In Sydney, Parramatta, one of the big suburbs, another city basically, in Sydney, have got their first zine fair. The School of Zines is doing the Parramatta Zine Fair
Right.
on Saturday. So
Yep.
4 days from when we're recording, 2 days from when you're watching. So if you don't want to go to Oz Comic Con in Sydney over that weekend, or you only want to go to Oz Comic Con one day, go to Oz Comic Con on the Sunday, go to the Zine Fair on the Saturday. I think they really would like the support. I don't know if they realized that they were putting on their Zine Fair on the same weekend as the huge mainstream Comic
Yeah.
Con.
Yeah.
So please do support the Parramatta Zine Fair if you can. It's free entry, and that'll be in Parramatta. So again, I just looked up Parramatta Zine Fair, and that hit the right spot on the Googles there as well.
Cool. Okay. Is that everything on your notes?
I think it is.
I think that might do us for
Sure.
this week, eh?
Yeah. Well, you won't get to see this T-shirt again until it comes around in
Oh,
the
what's the fashion then? What is that?
in the normal thing. But how long have we been going for? This is far too long already.
You said fart.
Um,
You said fart.
well, we're going to get a little bit more X-rated. This is Muscles McQuack. Muscles McQuack. Oh, hello, Boots. You're sitting at the door there. So
Yes.
can you see that? I don't
Yeah,
know. Can you
yeah.
see it?
There's
Yeah.
muscles.
So Muscles McQuack, which started off, I think, mostly as a Instagram comic by Ivan Dixon, Ivan Dixon, and Muscles McQuack is the main character. Aussie bodybuilder who moves to LA and then somehow gets involved in the porn industry. So don't look that one up if you're going to be offended by nude cartoon characters and reasonably gratuitous sex.
Right.
But it's really fun and it's very heartfelt. I really like it. And there's animated aspects to it as well because Ivan works in animation. So they've animated a number of shorts. I think some are really short and some of them are a little bit longer. And I bought the collected comic book version of Muscles McQuack and thought, well, while I'm here in the store, I will buy the T-shirt as well.
That's a great name. I hadn't heard of that one
Yeah.
before, so I'll have to track
Oh,
that one
yeah.
down. Hmm.
Very cool and
Yeah.
really, really nice animation design and really lovely kind of heart and soul to the stories. So yeah, it's very cool. I'm just on their website now. Looks like the book version is sold out. You can be like me and wear a Muscles McQuack T-shirt because that's still available. But it looks like the book is sold out unless they want to reprint it at some point.
If you don't have actual muscles, you can at least wear the T-shirt.
That's right, like me.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for someone to make a remark about what are you doing wearing a Muscles McQuack T-shirt? you little
Okay.
nerd.
I'll watch out. I've gone fuzzy. I'll watch out.
That's the gods. It's your
Time to go. Yes.
That's right. You're fading out. You're out of phase. Time to go back to your own dimension, Gary.
I'm stopping
Your
recording
time
now.
on Earth is up. Bye.
Say goodbye to the kiddies.
Bye, kiddies. See you next time.